Alright guys, welcome to part 2. Make sure to watch part 1 first, or a lot of this may not make sense. So, we're going to take off right where we left off, so enjoy guys. Alright, so I cleaned it up pretty decent, hit the grinder with it, and I still got a couple little low spots that I want to take care of, and then I'm just going to do the same thing again, you know, clean it up, and then I'll machine the recesses back in it. Alright, so got our piece here. Now all I need to do is cut 2 slots 180 degrees apart. And for my indexing, I chose to use this little USA 5C collet indexer. Now this was a viewer gift some time ago. I've never showed myself using this on camera, but I have used it several times. Most of the time I use my rotary table, which is huge, but it's my go-to indexer. It's the first one I got, so it's the one I think of when I think of indexing. But really, for small stuff like this, man, this thing is the way to go. It has 24 divisions on the back that you can select. Right now I've got it set up for 180 degrees, so 2. So do an operation, it's locked, unlock, and it snaps in 180 degrees from the slot that I just cut. You can mount it both horizontal or vertical. It has a threaded spindle nose. Right now it's just got the protector on it. This one has 8 by I think 2 1/4 threads. Of course, it accepts 5C collets. And if you're doing a lot of small parts, you know, that needed to be set to depth, you could use a collet stop in your 5C collet. Set your part in, you know, up against your stop, lock it in, do your operations, you know, unlock, you know, and change your part. It really that fast, so much faster than a chuck and cranking a hand wheel on a rotary table. So for quick indexing, man, this thing is definitely the way to go. So I figured I'd share that with you. It's a neat little tool. You can also get these things relatively cheap, which is a bonus compared to a, you know, a rotary table and a chuck. I'm just going to try to cut it to depth on one pass. Touch off. It's that easy. Man, these are nice. If you had multiples of those to do, man, you could knock those out in no time. Well, my center has turned out really nice, man. I don't know if you could polish a piece of carbide any nicer than that. And that should hold up quite a bit longer than the original center that was on this thing. Now, you can see this center is ground in half. And originally I was going to do it to this one, but I don't want to do that right now because it's a lot stronger being a complete center than it would be to grind it in half, although you don't have the clearance. So I'm going to wait till I need the clearance to cut this thing down, simply because I think it will last longer complete. So it turned out real nice. Drilling this thing was kind of tough, man. That's hard, but you know, carbide is harder, so it worked out. That nut turned out really good, and for quick indexing, definitely that little indexer is the way to go. You're not going to be cutting, you know, radiuses and stuff on it, but small bolt hole patterns, you could put a chuck on it and do any small work, bolt hole patterns, stuff like that. And that is the way to go. Model making, small stuff, multiples of small, works really good. Well, you've seen, you know, we cut, that's 350 thousandths deep, ½ inch wide, and it held that no problem. So I still need to make a wrench for that because I want to use this. Can only do so much in a couple days, so we'll have to get to that some other time. Now, I thought this was super neat. This was sent to me by Tom Utley over on Instagram, and his name is King Tutley over there. He makes a lot of these signs. He's just getting into this, I believe, but this is an etched aluminum sign. I sent him dimensions of my original, and he basically downsized it and etched it in aluminum, painted it and everything, and it turned out really nice. He's pretty good at this, and if you're interested in anything like this, contact Tom. I'll put his Instagram account up here, and you can get on there and email him or contact him and get something like this of your own. Pretty much, I mean, I've seen nothing the guy couldn't make, you know, so far. He's made all kinds of small tags and stuff. He's done a lot of work for Adam and some of the other guys. So if you're interested in something like this, contact him. I mean, that is a nice sign. So really appreciate that, you know. And if you need anything, like I said, contact him. That's pretty good work. So this, you've seen I had to heat this thing to get it to expand enough to get this end mill in here. And I apologize for my voice. I kind of getting a cold, I think. But man, it's amazing how tight these things fit. This 2-inch holder here, now I've got a few of these, but you know, changing them out's a pain. Most of the ones that I have fit that tight. They're right on the money as far as size. So you got to heat them up, you know, in order to pull the end mill in and out easy, or at least, you know, that's what I've seen. And this was given to me by Vernon Courier over at the YouTube channel The Mature Patriot. So thank you, Vernon. I really appreciate it. He's definitely helped me out a lot. And this big end mill, this big roughing end mill, now I've got a few of these, big 2-inch rougher. I believe it's brand new. It just sat around for a while, but it was given to me by John in Florida. So thank you, John. He also sent me a really nice note. You know, I really appreciate it, man. I always love those. He sent me 2 TG 100 collets. I just got to clean them up a bit. And then I pulled the plastic off this thing. Everybody likes the orange box, at least I do. The orange ones and the red ones. Sent me this, which is a brand new, I pulled it out of there, 1/4-inch travel little dial indicator. It's really nice, man. I appreciate that. Check that out. And sometimes these small ones are really nice to get into a tight spot. So thank you, John, and thank you, Vernon. I definitely appreciate the gifts. Right now, outside, it's 3 degrees Fahrenheit. I mean, to some people, that's not too bad, but that's pretty dang cold if you ask me. So I'm just cleaning up these grub screws, putting a little anti-seize on them so I can get them back out, when I go to change this thing. There we go. And that's something. What to try to run that. Alright, so I'm trying to get ready to run this face mill. Not right now. I still got to get some inserts for it. All the nitrided ones are brand new. I didn't have a complete pack, so I'm just messing around, really. Trying to figure out... this is a Lovejoy 5-inch face mill with adjustable and replaceable, I guess, pockets. And, I'm just mapping it out, seeing what I'm getting as far as deviation between all of the inserts. If these don't run all on basically the same level, you'll get, it'll show in your finish. Or at least that makes sense that it would. So I'm just going around. I got a button bottom here, and I'm trying to map out this and see what I get. And all these inserts have good edges on them, and I'm getting about 1/1000th to 1/1000th variation between the high and the low. Most are on the money, but some are just a hair high or hair low, and that is really pretty tough to adjust out, to be honest. There is no fine adjustment on these, so you kind of got to loosen them up and move them a little bit. You can take these wedges out and slide these pockets up and down. I don't know that you're supposed to do that, but you can, I guess, if you needed to some. So this is what will go on my holder here. Still haven't even made keys for this thing yet. Just not enough time in the day. There's the nut. So just messing, soon I want to run this thing. I got something also that's pretty neat I want to show you that I've never showed on my channel, and that is the first lathe that I ever bought. I still have it, and it still functions just like it did when it was brand new. I bought it about 15 years ago. So let me get you turned around and I'll show you it. Okay, so the first lathe that I ever owned was is in a true micro lathe, and here it is. Really nice little lathe. It's a single-purpose lathe that's made to turn the rotor or the commutator bars on these small electric remote control car motors. I used to work at a hobby store. I worked there part-time for about 3 years and really got into racing RC cars. But my true passion RC-wise was helicopters and flying, trick or 3D. I really got pretty good at that, and eventually, gave it up. But I still have a lot of the components and stuff, and I was digging through my closet the other day, and I found this, and I figured I would show you guys. Now, running these electric motors hard, you'll often score up the commutator on it, and you'll lose performance on your motors. So every so often you have to come in and dress up the bars on these things. Now, we're going to be powering this little lathe with a Sorensen DCS 2050. This is a pretty neat power supply. It's a 0 to 20 volts, 0 to 50 amps, so it's really neat. Actually got that out of a dumpster, believe it or not, but that's not the topic here. Anyway, let's make a pass with this thing anyway. I've already blued up the commutator bars here, and I'll show you how it works. Right, you can see it just uses a little motor here to drive our rotor with a rubber band. It runs the motor shaft and these two V-blocks here, and you have a cutter that you can, traverse across the commutator, and you can feed, the tool in to your depth of cut. It's a pretty neat little lathe, really. Thought it was worth showing. I'm sure that a lot of you guys have never seen one of these, or probably didn't even know they existed, but similar to a watchmaker's lathe, really, except for this is single purpose. Get it in here. So turn it on. And let's see if I can get this thing where I can run it. And you can see, just come over, feed the tool in. And I already blued up the, get everything right. I ain't ran this thing in forever. Run it in until we touch. It's got a small carbide, raised carbide cutter in it right now. Okay, so you don't want to take much off these. You just want to clean them up. Feed backwards. And just a hair more, and feed across. And really that simple. And then you have a new surface to put new brushes on, and you should get pretty decent performance out of your motor. So that's really all it does. So pretty neat, huh? Thought that was worth showing. Well, hopefully you can see that. I think that turned out pretty good. It's almost a mirror finish, really. I don't even know that that's exactly what you want on something like this, but it's about as good a finish as you can get, really. As you can, tell by eye anyway. They actually make a thing that goes in the motor and scuffs this commutator up a little bit. And I believe that's just to help, you break in a new set of brushes or something. These brushes here, these are the actual brush that makes contact with our commutator bars. They're brand new, serrated, so they, I guess, break in faster. But you get the idea. Pretty neat. There's the end bell, half the unit. So, off camera, I actually made a tool. A little mishap right there. Made a tool to fit the nut that we repaired for to hold the space fill on. I'm getting a little anxious to try this thing. It's a basic thing. I figured, I'd rush through it and made it so fit so good it almost doesn't fit. I don't know why I do that. I'll make something that's right on the money, and actually too tight. Try to make it to the 10th, and then it ends up not fitting. But good enough. It'll wear in as soon as you torque on that a few times. It'll fit better. That's a piece of stainless, just a scrap that I had, laying around. So I want to try to run that thing, man. Look at that. That's pretty neat. It's not a real big face mill. It's 5-inch, but I still need to get new inserts for it. All the nitrided, the gold ones, are new, but they're all the same insert. They're just different coated, but the other ones are used. So I didn't have a full full pack. These are SPG 424s is what's in it. So I need to get some more so I can fill this thing up. And I need to get some inserts for that big other large face mill that I got too. So I'll have to look all that stuff up and find some. But I want to run that. I think it'd be neat to try. So maybe next week we will. Also, a lot of things I want to do. Also, I'd like to try to run that large rougher, big 2-inch rougher, and that 2-inch holder. You know, see what that mill will do. But you know, when you run a 2-inch rougher down into a chunk of steel, you remove a lot of steel, and big chunks of steel are not easy to come by. So, you know, that's my only reserve, is that I don't want to waste my steel. But you know, maybe we can come up with a project or something where we need to do it. I'd like to try it anyway. I think it'd be neat to see. So I don't know. Anyway, supposed to warm up next week. Hopefully I'll get a break with the weather. It's still ice cold, so it's supposed to be I think in the 60s, which will be a welcome change. So thanks for watching, guys. I definitely appreciate it. Like always, you know, click on my little guy to subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell for notifications. Huge thanks to my viewers, my patrons, you know, the guys who made a donation on my PayPal button on my homepage. It's always appreciated. So if you need anything, contact me through my email. And I'll see you next time.